It's the Superhuman Television Show, your guide to living beyond 100 years in good health. Now, here's your hosts, Carl Lanore and Tony Vanelli.
Hey, welcome back to another episode of Superhuman Television. I'm Carl Lanore. This is Tony Vanelli. How you doing today, Tony?
I'm doing fantastic. Got plenty of sleep, been working out this week, eating right.
And you look good.
Thank
but
you.
here's something I want to ask you, Tony. How many people do you know that get on the treadmill and they go, well, I burned 300 calories, so I can go out and have 300 calories worth of junk food today?
Everyone I know.
Right. Well, today we're going to be talking about the myth behind calories. It's not a mathematical equation like a lot of people would have you believe. And either today's show is going to upset you or enlighten you. And hopefully if you're upset, you'll only be upset for a little while until you get your head around this and realize that it is not calories in, calories out. And if you haven't heard about this before, it's going to be exciting for you.
It is. Everyone turns it over and sees, and they go, oh, no, you crazy? I mean, if there's 400 calories, I can't have that. It's 400 calories. Or that mocha shake coffee thing is 900 calories. Oh, I can't have that. Again, everyone calorie counts at this point because they'll tell you a man should only have 3,000 calories a day.
And it just
depends. Woman should have 2,000.
That's right. And this whole notion of calories in, calories out actually arose back in the early 18th century, 19th century with a doctor named Rudolfo Calasius. And he discovered that he actually wrote the laws of thermodynamics. And the first law of thermodynamics basically says, in short, that you cannot destroy energy or create it. You heard this in school, right? It can only be transferred.
Transferred, right, correct.
So in a closed system, his theory was that if you have a certain amount of work being done, it will give out a certain amount of heat. Okay?
Got it.
And so we discovered that there were ways to measure this heat, and we actually have an image that I want to show you and why. The first thing that I'm going to show you is that this here. On the left side of your screen, there is a bomb calorimeter. And this is how they test for caloric content of anything.
Anything.
Yeah, so what they basically did...
Yes. A hot dog bun.
What they did was they took a carbohydrate source, they took a fat source, they took a protein source, they put it in that little orange pot there, fed electricity into it, and heated it up, and the heat that it gave off that warmed 1 gram of water determined how many calories were potential in that food. Okay. Now, on the right is a human body. Do you see anything different about the human body in the bomb calorimeter? I think the human body is much more complex, isn't it?
Yes,
okay.
Of course.
So this notion that a carbohydrate has 4 calories, a protein has 4 calories per gram, and a fat has 9 calories per gram come from putting them in this bomb calorimeter.
This is the only way they do it?
This is how they do it. Now keep in mind, they also measure gasoline this way. A gallon of gasoline has 31,500 calories.
Right.
Think about that for a second.
I did not know that.
Now, what they fail to realize here is that
I don't think people realize what a calorie is.
No,
I didn't even know calories were in
this is why we want to bring this to people today, because we want you to understand where this whole myth of calories in food comes from. When you realize that your body is this medley, this symphony of chemical reactions, glands, body organs, and systems, you realize that you are not a bomb calorimeter. Okay. Now, this idea that food has calories came from here. What is a calorie? A calorie is the amount of energy or heat it takes to raise the temperature of 1 gram of water 1.8 degrees Fahrenheit. And this is where this whole notion that this food has 136 calories comes from, or that food has 188 calories, without taking into consideration how that food actually interacts with the metabolic system.
Okay, so each person treats a calorie different.
Yeah, well, wait, more importantly, calories are not calories. Proteins, fats, and carbohydrates, and the types of carbohydrates react differently in your body. You cannot say all carbohydrates do this, all fats do this, all proteins do that.
Okay, but it's accurate, though. That thing is accurate.
It's accurate.
So my little package of Tic Tacs that say 1 calorie per Tic Tac is not accurate.
No, it is not. It's accurate in a bomb calorimeter, in that metallic tank with water in it.
Okay.
It's not accurate in your body.
In my body. Okay, got it. Okay.
And this is, if you get nothing else from today's show, I want you to understand that calories are not calories are not calories. That you can't go and work out and walk on the treadmill and go, well, I burned 1,000 calories. That's equal to 3 glasses of wine. I'm going to have 3 glasses of wine tonight.
Why?
And because the wine it's not about calories. It's what it does to your metabolism.
Okay.
It's not about heat. It's not about how much heat your body gives off. For instance, I'll give you a for instance real quick, and I wasn't going to go here yet. If you eat things that are high in fiber, an almond, for instance.
Yes.
Okay, an almond has a certain amount of fat, but it also has a certain amount of fiber. The amount of energy it takes your body to digest an almond contributes no energy to your body. It takes more energy to digest an almond than the fuel that it gives your body.
Okay, somebody told me that about hard-boiled egg also.
Well, I don't know about
hard-boiled egg would take the same amount of energy that it takes to digest it as the same amount of energy or calories inside the egg, minus the yellow.
Every food reacts differently, but the real thing that we're going to talk about when we come back here is carbohydrates, because this is really an important discussion, and this is where the whole calorie is a calorie argument falls apart. There was a study done in 1956 we're going to talk about when we come back from the break that you have to see. Scientists have known about this forever, but they can't talk about it. They don't want to talk about it because...
Why aren't the dietitians breaking this thing down?
Oh, forget about it. The American Dietetic Association is a fraud. It's a fraud.
Okay, that's the topic today, counting calories. We all count calories. We all talk about on the treadmill versus whatever. Okay, so we're going to try to break that open today. That's the topic today with Tony Vanelli and Carl Lanore on Superhuman Television.
Superhuman Television will return after these messages.
Your body knows what it wants. It wants to feel stronger, work harder, act faster, and think sharper. Give your body more nutrients, more antioxidants, more protection, more of what it wants. Try Live On Lab's liposomal vitamin C today, risk-free, and give your body the nutrients to support your overall health, without jitters, without side effects. Order online at liveonlabs.com.
Hey, we are back, Superhuman Television. I am Tony Vanelli. This is Carl Lanore. This is a topic I'm interested in, and I'm a little confused at this point. Why a calorie isn't a calorie. They started this study.
In 1956, 2 brilliant doctors from now the UK, then London, Keckwick and Pawan, did a profound study because they started to doubt this whole laws of thermodynamics applying to food. Okay? Because food is not gasoline. It's not that simple. And the body isn't a bomb calorimeter. It's not that simple. So they said, well, let's try a series. So they did a series of studies. The one study that I want to talk about today, and we're going to put up image 2, please, for a second. They had women go on one of 3 isocaloric diets. That isocaloric means everybody ate the same calories. Okay? So every woman in the study either ate 1,000 calories where 90% of their food every day came from fat, 1,000 calories where 90% of their food came from protein, or 1,000 calories where 90% of their food came from carbohydrates. Now, keep in mind that they also had to drink a certain amount of water and get a certain amount of sodium in their diet to keep everything equal. Okay?
All right.
Now, I want you to remember this for a second, and these were women. And I want to go ahead and go to the next graphic, please, because this is going to be startling, and I want you to see something. Okay. The bars above the graph are weight lost. The bars below the graph are weight gained.
Got it.
The only group that gained weight was the group that ate exclusively carbohydrates.
Right.
So if 1,000 calories is 1,000 calories is 1,000 calories, we should see every single graph look exactly the same.
Yes, sir.
Now, there are some variables here, and I predict that the reason that some of the people who ate carbohydrates alone on the left side who didn't gain weight but lost weight, it's because of the type of carbs. I predict that the ones who gained weight were eating more starchy and sugary carbs, and the ones who actually lost some weight were eating more vegetable sources of carbohydrates.
Right. Okay, so
but
the protein
keep in mind
lost
that,
weight.
Now I want to show you something here. So everyone will tell you if you eat fat, you'll get fat. And this is a lie, because the group that lost the most weight consistently was the group that ate 90% of their calories from fat.
Right.
And this led to something that inspired people like Dr. Atkins and others to say, wow, there's something magical when you eat a lot of fat.
Right.
You actually lose body fat. Look at the weight these people lost.
I know.
I mean, this is upwards of, some of these people lost upwards of 20 pounds, and it was estimated that it was all body fat. When you look at the graphs, they maintained muscle mass.
I know, and again, the health risk is what they holler about. Maybe you're losing weight, but is it their health risk?
No.
That?
That's another myth, and that's a whole show we can do, and we will address that later on.
Okay, so what you're saying is, I was confused between what a calorie was. It is accurate, that little bomb or thing.
It's only accurate on things that you don't eat. It's accurate on gasoline. It's accurate on different types of fuel sources and energy sources, but it's not accurate with food.
Okay,
because
so
if you
and I burn these different types of calories.
We don't use electricity like the bomb calorimeter does. We use chemical reactions in our body.
Right, yes.
Okay? We're not applying AC and going, oh, look at the fat sizzle. Look how fast it dissolves.
Right.
When you digest it, the gallbladder produces something to break it down. The endocrine system joins in and goes, hey, let's do this with that fat. It's not electricity, it's chemicals in us.
Right.
So you have to throw the whole calorie notion out the window. Out the window completely.
It doesn't mean you should go out and eat as many calories as you want.
Okay, when we talk about eating, you should eat till you're satisfied, but the sources of what you eat are going to dictate whether you become obese or whether you become lean.
Low carbohydrate.
Low carbohydrate.
High calorie.
Look at the paleo diet.
You're saying I can go high calorie if I go low carb?
Yes.
Okay, all right, that's what I'm looking for here. This is where I'm looking for.
Look at the paleo diet. The paleo diet, people get on the paleo diet to cure diseases like rheumatoid arthritis, and they lose a bunch of body fat at the same time without wanting to. Why? Because they're eating healthy, fatty animal proteins and fatty fishes. They're eating, vegetables.
Yes.
They're not eating bread. They're not
Right.
eating sugar. They're not eating rice. They're not eating all these starchy carbs, and they lose body fat.
Yeah, I've sort of been on that diet for the last couple of months. I've gone to eating every 2 hours, and it's low carb, but it's higher calorie. I'm taking in more calories than I did last year because I flat out, just a little personal note, I didn't have enough energy. I was dieting. I guess I was dieting. I was counting my calories basically, and I was trying to eat these meals that were smaller calories, and I didn't have enough energy to finish the day. So I decided, okay, I'm going to try this diet. I'm going to eat more calories. So I increased my calories maybe by 50%, and I lost 2 pounds.
Listen to this, Tony. Research Laboratory Division of Pediatric Endocrinology and Diabetes. Now look who's doing this research. Studied diets for children in Greece, and they found out that a ketogenic diet, which is a high-fat diet, revealed more pronounced improvements in weight loss and metabolic parameters than the hypocaloric diet, starving yourself.
Right.
This is in children.
Yes.
So this notion that fat, because it's 9 calories per gram of fat, is going to make you fatter is a lie.
But I need some carbs. I mean, you got
yes,
because
vegetables.
Carbs are energy or not? No.
Vegetables. Your body does not need carbs. And here's something that most people don't understand. And I'm going to try to say this quickly. Because of evolution, we didn't always have carbohydrates available to us. Our body can convert fats to ketones and proteins through amino acids to glucose. So we can actually survive indefinitely without carbohydrates. We can't survive without fats, and we can't survive without proteins.
Those mornings that I go without carbs, I'm starving all day.
Well, that's because
do I have to get used to that?
That's because you're not metabolically flexible yet. Yes,
okay,
that's
okay.
why. If you ate more that way or more often, you would become more accustomed to it. But your body does not need carbohydrates because it can create ketones from fats and sugars from protein. So you can live completely without carbs if you want to.
I love the discussion, man. Calories, not a calorie, here on Superhuman Television. I am Tony Vanelli. He is Carl Lanore. We have radio shows and now getting to you on WBNA. It's the Superhuman Television on WBNA.
Superhuman Television will return after these messages.
Your body knows what it wants. It wants to feel stronger, work harder, act faster, and think sharper. Give your body more nutrients, more antioxidants, more protection, more of what it wants. Try Live On Lab's liposomal vitamin C today, risk-free, and give your body the nutrients to support your overall health. without jitters, without side effects. Order online at liveonlabs.com.
Welcome back to Superhuman Television. I am Tony Vanelli. He is Carl Lanore. We have 2 radio shows. I'm on at 7:90 a.m. here in town. You can listen to me at 3 o'clock, and yours is at superhumanradio.com right now.
Actually, yeah, I'm on the air right now if you're watching this TV show. So you have to make a decision what you want to do, listen or watch.
We have started to take listener questions here, okay? So you can get a hold of them at superhumanradio.com. Mine's at tony@wqmf.com. So any questions you have, we will get to them right here on the show. And let's get the listener question we have. Last week, you did a show on how weightlifting to get stronger will make you healthier and live longer. Brian Stanford, I know him very well, wrote an article in the Louisville Courier-Journal warning people just the opposite, that heavy weightlifting will cause it's called
rhabdomyolysis.
Rhabdomyolysis, I like it. And can be life-threatening. Aren't you giving your viewers dangerous advice?
Actually, Tina, thank you for this question, and it's a good question. And Brian has been on my show, on my radio show numerous times, and he's a friend of Superhuman Radio. There's things that Brian and I agree about and things that we disagree about. I went ahead and read the article that you're mentioning. Brian does point out in the article that rhabdomyolysis is rare. However, we're seeing more and more of it right now for 2 reasons. There are extreme workout programs like CrossFit that are pushing people's bodies way beyond what is necessary to be strong and healthy. And also, people who are training with weights and taking statin drugs. Statin drugs can lead to rhabdomyolysis without weight training because they break down the muscles. After reading the article, I realized that he capitalized on this phenomenon, rhabdo, and Bryant is like everybody else in the media. He's trying to get eyes on his articles. He's got to make the headlines kind of grab people. But after reading the article, he did point out numerous times that this is a rare condition.
It is rare. This has popped up in the last couple of weeks. I saw something on 60 Minutes or something on that, or 2020, whatever it was. But it's where your body can't absorb the.
No. There's too much muscle breakdown,
right?
And the kidneys get clogged up with the creatinine and so on.
Right.
But you have to understand something. You are not going to be able to push yourself that hard.
It is also where you don't have enough fuel, so you're not eating enough, and you're working out like a nut.
No, it's exclusively a result of too much muscle fiber breakdown. And it's called metabolic waste. It gets clogged up in the kidneys. That's really what it is.
How rare is it?
You have to push yourself so hard.
Right.
I mean, you have to be stupid. You have to do something stupid. You have to go, I'm going to go into the gym and destroy my body.
Right, yeah.
That's it. In the story that Brian talks about in the newspaper article, this guy is a cyclist. He never works out. He decides to train legs with a friend who has this animal leg training program. He was completely unprepared for this leg training, and he pushed himself beyond what was sensible.
Right.
You will never push yourself that hard. I have never even come close to having rhabdo, and I probably train harder than most people do. You have to literally abandon logic and say, I am going to destroy my body today by lifting. These guys had no rest time. They were doing something called supersets, heavy squats, heavy leg presses, going back and forth for 40 minutes without any rest.
Right.
Who does that?
Nobody. Nobody I know.
But don't worry about it. Go to the gym and try to get strong. You'll never get rhabdo. But if you're taking statin drugs, be careful, because statin drugs will give you rhabdo without going to the gym.
Rhabdo is a new thing. You're going to hear it a lot, but it is, I believe it's really rare. And again, it's popping up everywhere. But we're talking about, because again, people are jumping on the new CrossFit.
That's where it's coming from.
That's where it's coming from.
CrossFitters push. If you've ever watched the CrossFit Games, you know that CrossFitters push their bodies to unbelievable extremes.
Extreme limits. Okay, they'll do 20 chin-ups, and then they'll pick up 135 pounds and do the clean.
No rest. 3 different exercises back to back.
And then they go and do they throw medicine balls for 30 minutes. I mean, it's extreme. I mean, it really is.
I mean,
good question.
You know what else, Tony? And just for the drinking water is a good thing, right?
Yeah.
But did you know drinking water can kill you?
No.
It's called hyponatremia. If you drink too much water.
If you drink too much water, that's right. They had I knew
DJ
this.
killed somebody.
A DJ did that where they drank water after they rode a roller coaster ride, and then they drank water, roller coaster ride and drank water, and then the people that jumped off, Like the last person in the roller coaster would win the contest, whatever it is.
And she ended up drinking a gallon of water in like a half hour.
That's
and what happens is it causes electrolyte imbalances and her heart stopped.
All right, man.
So water is not a bad thing. You wouldn't stop drinking water, but you wouldn't drink a gallon of water in 30 minutes either.
Right. It's all about mediation.
There you go.
All right.
Moderation, baby.
Moderation, dude. Yeah, everything. Superhuman Television back after this right here on WBNA.
Superhuman Television will return after these messages.
Your body knows what it wants. It wants to feel stronger, work harder, act faster, and think sharper. Give your body more nutrients, more antioxidants, more protection, more of what it wants. Try Live On Lab's liposomal vitamin C today, risk-free, and give your body the nutrients to support your overall health, without jitters, without side effects. Order online at liveonlabs.com.
Welcome back to Superhuman Television. I'm Tony Vanelli. He's Carl Lanore. Carl, we're talking about counting calories here, and not necessarily you have to count calories, okay? It depends on what you're eating with the calories. Do hormones play a role in this?
Absolutely. And women learn this the hard way as they start to go through menopause. They find out that they can eat the same foods and they just manufacture fat. Hormones like estrogen, testosterone, progesterone, cortisol, they all are messengers to the body, telling the body what to do with the food that you're taking in at the moment. So, you know this, if you're going through menopause, you go, my God, I used to be able to eat all this stuff. We talk about the metabolism, right?
Yeah, yeah.
Well, a bomb calorimeter doesn't have metabolism.
Right, yes, sir.
It doesn't have a thyroid. It doesn't have these hormones. So absolutely hormones. And this is why a lot of people, in fact, somebody was just telling me yesterday that when their wife got on hormone replacement therapy, she just lost body fat without even trying.
Right. You also mentioned that the American Dietetics Association was a fraud. Can you expand on that?
I know, and a lot of people probably thinking those are really, really hard words, but that's how I feel. The American Dietetic Association is directly influenced by the American government. Why is that a bad thing? Well, the American government's three most subsidized crops are grain, corn, wheat, corn, and soy. The three things you should not be eating. But the government doesn't want to come out and say, you know what, these are probably part of the obesogenic model. Yeah. Stop eating them, because they have billions of dollars invested. So they need you to eat that food so they can get their investment out.
Right.
The American Dietetic Association makes recommendations based on what the government wants them to do. They're a government-funded agency. So they're not going to tell you, eat paleo, it's healthier. They're going to tell you, oh, cereal grains are good for you. They're heart healthy. We know this is not true.
Right.
So you can't trust agencies that have a conflict in interest because they are somehow financially protected or protecting an entire industry. And that's the God's honest truth.
Yeah, it's a miracle. You start to unravel all this, and Washington, D.C. obviously is broken now in more ways than one. What they're telling you to eat is also broken, not just their financials, okay? I'll tell you that right now. It's been a fun show talking about counting calories and what to work out and what not to work out. This is pretty much the show in a nutshell, is what we're going to try to get you to do here, is live past 100 and live well here on Superhuman Television. So keep it locked right in here at noon every single day on WBNA, Monday through Friday. So DVR it. And when you get a chance, watch it when you can. Okay, that's what a lot of people do.
And you know what?
Anyway.
A lot of people are DVRing us because they're saying, look, I'm not home at noon. What should I do? Don't miss an episode. I can promise you that the feedback we get from the audience is consistently this. I'm learning things I've never heard about before. You're challenging me. The content is great. And I promise that we will deliver information on this show day after day, week after week, that is fresh, exciting, interesting, that will challenge everything that you know. If I don't even believe me, do your own research. All I want you to do is start thinking, use your own critical thinking skills, come up with your own answers.
Your body knows what it wants. It wants to feel stronger, work harder, act faster, and think sharper. Give your body more nutrients, more antioxidants, more protection, more of what it wants. Try Live On Lab's liposomal vitamin C today, risk-free, and give your body the nutrients to support your overall health, without jitters, without side effects. Order online at liveonlabs.com.